meteorologist, Mallory Schnell.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 4 locations to help you out with those last-minute holiday gifts. The original service center in Lincoln, just south of 15th and Pine Lake Road. Actually, 14th and Pine Lake. It's the 1500 block, but it depends which side of the building you come from. I mean, we're on both sides of the building, so it doesn't really matter. 14, 15, you can choose. The next one was in Omaha, 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall. And then in Papillion, 84th and Highway 370 in the Midlands Place Shopping Center. And then, of course, the newest location at 9500 University Avenue in West Des Moines, Iowa. All there, staffed up, inventoried up, and ready to help you out with your computer needs. As far as a quick update on holiday specials, general computer inventory, generally we are still able to get laptops. Like the standard laptops of our lineup. So if you're looking for a regular laptop as a Christmas gift, those are typically in stock. Our stock is running low, not because we can't get more in at this point, but we're bottlenecked in how fast we can. When we get them in, guys, they don't come into us as Schrock solid state laptops. It's not like Best Buy where they get a shipment of laptops in and then they send them out the door. We actually have to take them in. We have to open them. We have to test them. We filter out all the ones that have some kind of a defect, whether that's a scratch, whether that's a hard drive that's not working at the speed it's supposed to work, or memory that's not working perfectly, because a lot of the units now come with onboard memory. So it's really important, if there's a problem with that memory, to detect it right away so that you don't end up taking that home with you and living with it for 6 months before you figure that out. We go through all that. Then once it's done, we upgrade the memory. We upgrade the hard drive to a faster, larger hard drive than what the unit comes with. And then it goes to a service center where you can purchase it and pick it up. So it takes a little bit of time to do that. So the guys in Papillion are working their tails off to make sure that those get out the door as quickly as possible and out to the service centers. We're going to be running extra transfers between the service centers this week just to make sure that everybody's got what they need. As far as holiday specials go, we are going to be pulling down the display models this week because we're kind of at that point now where, why do we have a display model? Because the individual chip inside the desktop model is too valuable to have on display because we can't buy them. So yeah, we're getting to that point, guys, where it's going to be, where you're going to come in looking for a holiday special and we won't have any. It doesn't mean we won't be able to get any in the future. We can still take your order going forward as long as you're not concerned with a Christmas delivery. That'll be the big challenge there. Now, as far as other stuff going on in the service center, I want to say it's got to be an intentional effort to fatten the employees working at the Schrock Innovation Service Centers right now. You guys have brought in so many treats and cookies and holiday things. My staff is so spoiled, and I just want to take a moment, really quick. Last night I was thinking about, how far this company has come from where it started 20 plus years ago, about the great employees we've had along the way that have helped us achieve the things that we've achieved, and the great customers that we have that choose to patronize Schrock Innovations, that choose to come in and have us help them with their computer needs when they have a problem or buy their new computers from Schrock, rather than buying them from any number of other places you can go to buy, technology devices, any number of places. But you guys choose to come to us. It means a lot to us. And then on top of that, to have people bringing in treats and cookies and things because they're so happy with the service that the guys in the service center and the gals in the service center have provided. It's awe-inspiring. It was a real challenge for me to go from one service center where I could oversee everything and I could make sure that everything was exactly the way that I wanted it, exactly every time, to going to multiple service centers where you have to bring in people that you believe are good at what they do, that are going to do what you would do in those situations. You're making mini-me's basically and trying to get them to do the things the way you want them to do it. That was going from one service center to 2 was just a worldview shift. Going from 2 to 3, you think it would be easy to add a third one? It was just another worldview shift all over again. It makes it so much more complicated. Number 4, it's kind of like your 4th kid. Number 4, if they drop their lollipop on the floor, you just let them pick it up and lick it off, and it's fine. They're not going to die. You learn to not sweat the small stuff, but you also learn that small stuff is an indicator of bigger stuff. So if you do have a problem in a service center that's far flung from the home office, even if it's an isolated problem, you really need to pay attention to it, because if you don't, it will develop into a bigger problem. So all these lessons were learned along the way, and I wanted just to take a moment this morning to stop and say thank you, to stop and say I really appreciate the patience that you've had with us as we have grown through the years, how we have tried to remain true to our original intent, which was to become a place where people can come for computer help that wasn't entirely focused on how many dollars can you give me today. You know, every business needs to make money. Every business needs to be profitable. That's how we keep the lights on and pay our people and deal with all the challenges that come toward us. On the other hand, though, there's being profitable and not taking advantage of a guy who comes in because he needs a single screw to finish his computer. Literally, we had that happen in Papillion the other day. One of my guys comes to me and he says, you know, how much do we want to charge for this M.2 screw? It's a screw that holds the hard drive down to the motherboard. I don't know why his motherboard didn't ship with one, but it's the most frustrating thing. I've had it happen. You're one screw away from finishing a computer, and it's a special screw. It's not like you can go out in the garage and look in the jelly jar of screws and find, hey, look, an M.2 screw. Nobody, you don't have one of these anywhere in the junk drawer. We have to buy them 6 at a time because we need them for certain builds. The Asus laptops, one of the ones that we get, doesn't come with a screw. Of all the stupid things, it does not come with a screw for the hard drive. We add a screw to make sure the hard drive doesn't come out. You know, that's important, we think. So we spend the money. We spend, it's like $5 or $8 for 6 screws. So we spend about $1 a screw to get those screws in. So this guy comes in and he needs a screw, right? And how much do you charge for the dollar screw? That you feel, I mean, the screw is literally, like, if you put it on your pinky finger, it's like the size of the head of a pin. Just give him a screw. You know, give him a screw. Tell his friends about us. Tell him to, you know, when he needs something important, to come on in and find us. And then, you know, maybe we'll earn a customer out of this for the future. That's what we were built on. That's how it started. And I want to make sure that it stays there in that place. So I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who's chosen to do business with Schrock over the past year, who has decided that we are a good fit for you and your family and your technology needs, and taking advantage of the different sales and offers and services and things that we have tried to put together to make your computing life easier. So that's the fun news. Now, the sad news is today I've got a whole slew of stories that are going to scare your pants off. It's crazy. So before we begin, if you're not already doing so, you can listen online. We are live at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where I have not yet done an audio check. I just realized. So I'm going to take a look at my audio check for Facebook, and sure enough, I got lucky. The audio looks good. It's a little weak. I'm going to turn up the volume just a little bit on the camera here, but yeah, there we go. Now we're good to go. So facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where you can watch the show live, listen. Also, when the program is concluded, we do a second little show called the Aftershock. This will be the final Aftershock of the year, guys, for various reasons. We'll tell you all about that during the Aftershock. But if you want to get your Aftershock fix, you definitely don't want to miss the Aftershock coming up after the conclusion of the program at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. All right, number to join us on the program today, because, of course, as always, if you give us a call, ask a question, make a comment, we will put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good for anything your heart desires over at the Service Center. That phone number is 888-250-2091. That's 888-250-2091. All righty, so last week on the program, guys, we told you about the paradox that is continuing sales and special offers on electronic items that are in shortage. Because, you know, we want to stimulate demand on items that are in shortage. Makes a lot of sense. Also, we explained as best we could what caused the massive Amazon AWS outage last week. Literally, I had a nirvana moment sitting in front of my computer, and it could have just been one of those stupid things like, you know, a neuron fired in my brain and connected 2 different news stories together in a way that I thought, oh gosh, could it be? And I have absolutely no evidence to, maybe I should leave this for the Aftershock, because I have no evidence that says that this is what happened. There's no one else is writing this, but it just occurred to me that two stories that I'm going to talk about in the show could be related to each other, even if they're not being directly tied together at this point. It'd be interesting. I almost want to put a marker down just in case they become related. Then I can be like, see, you heard it there first, right? But we told you about that AWS outage that literally took a good chunk of the internet offline last week. Happened again, actually, as well. We also asked if you were working from home, if you were feeling burnt out. There was a big story about how people who are working from home are getting burnt out from the work at home experience, and as a result are taking unnecessary or unintentional risks with their technology security because they just don't care anymore. And it's not like you have the network administrator hounding over you anyway. So there it is. Coming up on the program today, it's the final call for the holiday special. As I mentioned before, we're going to be pulling down the display models this week because the sale is wrapping up. We're getting to that point here where we're getting close to the end. So if it's something that you were thinking about doing that you haven't moved on, haven't pulled the trigger on yet, I would definitely encourage you to do so sooner rather than later before the sale wraps up, because once it is done, you can still get the holiday specials. They're just a bit more expensive. So it's, they go up to normal pricing again, as opposed to being sold at cost, which is where they're sold right now. And that's the holiday special laptop or desktop. Also coming up on the program, 500,000 Android users infected themselves by downloading a specific app from the App Store. We're going to tell you what that app is so you can check and see if maybe you have it on your phone. Also, if you use an iPhone, you're like, ha ha, those Android fools infecting themselves. We're going to tell you about the terrifying hack that Apple users got hit with. It was way worse. We told you about it at the time it happened in September, but it was way worse way worse than anything anyone had ever seen before. And once everybody dove into what was going on with it, it's going to terrify you if you use an iPhone. Also, how much do you rely on Amazon Web Service or cloud in general? I'm picking on Amazon because they had all the outages this week. But how much do you rely on Amazon for your day-to-day life? It's kind of weird when Amazon goes down and things just randomly stop working. And you're like, oh, gosh, I had no idea that was using Amazon. Or I was using a company to do something that used Amazon to do what I need them to do. There's a weird dependency chain going on. And I'm going to spend a couple minutes talking about a concept that probably, it's definitely fallen out of favor. But self-reliance, being able to function without the assistance of someone else helping you function. It's a challenge. It's a big challenge in the modern world that we live in because everything is interconnected and everything is interdependent. And so, everybody likes bread, but no one wants to crack their own wheat. You know what I mean? I'm totally on board with that. I'm not cracking wheat. But with that said, there are some things you can do from a technology perspective to make sure that when there is an outage, a cloud outage, something like that, that you're not left sitting in the dark with nothing to do because everything you own is in the cloud. And this is increasingly the model that businesses are going to right now because it is so affordable to do. So if you're running a business, this is definitely, there's some mitigation things that you can put on your 2022 New Year's resolution list for your company to put your IT team on to make sure that you don't get zapped by a cloud outage. 888-250-2091. We mentioned the holiday special. For those of you new to the program, you might not know what a holiday special actually is. And so it's important that we go back and explain it. To me, it feels a little repetitive, maybe to you guys too, because we're here every week, but we do get new pupils, new people that want to ask questions, want to make comments, and they kind of feel like they're behind the curve because they're not in the cool club that everybody knows all the buzzwords and what everybody's talking about. So every year, Schrock Innovations creates one desktop and one laptop for the holiday season called the Holiday Special. They're sold at the same price. They're $15.99, but it's literally everything you could ask for in a computer. The desktop has a Ryzen 7 5700G processor. Processor just came out about 5 months ago. So it's brand new off the supply chain boat. Let's put it that way. That's why they're so hard to get. It comes with a monitor. It's got a blue light filtering monitor so that your eyes don't have that strain from the blue light or the damage that's caused by blue light. If you don't know what blue light is coming out of your monitor, I have to tell you, I have 3 monitors on my desk at home. And one in the middle took an errant ball of some sort from a child and got cracked. It was a sad day. So I had to buy a new monitor, and I said, let's get this blue light filtering one, right? at night, if I go downstairs into because every guy ends up in the basement, right? So if I go downstairs where my computer is and the light that's coming off the monitors, there's a blue tint on either side from the right and the left monitor. The main monitor in the middle that comes right up the center has no blue tint to the light, just like the kind of the afterglow of the light. You can see the blue tint, and it's just assaulting your eyes all the time. And these monitors for the holiday special are blue light filtering. They don't have that harmful blue light coming out of them, which is huge for people that get eye strain, things like that in front of their computers. Wireless keyboard and mouse as well, so that you can basically have everything you need. It's a complete computer to set it up and get it going. Of course, it's got wireless. Of course, it's got Bluetooth. So it's got the Wi-Fi 6. It's got wired. It's got multiple monitor hookups, so you can hook up a second monitor. If you've already got one around the house, you can have both of them hooked up. It really has it all. Now, the laptop this year was a challenge because of the supply chain. We ended up having to switch the laptop in midstream. And then we had to end up switching it back because supply chain. This one's available, this one's not available. So we had our primary picked out, and that's the one that got all of its pictures taken. It got the marketing. Then we had the understudy. The understudy had a slightly faster processor, but no backup hard drive. The backup hard drive was important to us. We went with the model with the backup hard drive. That was our primary one. So the Asus one that was the primary went unavailable. And so then we found, like I said, the backup one was the HP. It was still available. We were able to get about 10 of them in before it went unavailable. And then we were a little worried. We were like, what are we going to do? They're all unavailable, and it feels like the world is ending, and they're never going to be back. And oh my gosh, what are we going to? What do you mean the Asus is available? Oh shoot. Okay, Asus is available again. How are we going to do this on the marketing? Well, at least we didn't change the catalog, right? And change, now we had them both on the website for a while, so we're getting to the point now where neither are available again, and so we have what we have. So we're working through the rest of the inventory because when it became available, we ordered a bunch. As many as we could anyway, I think, which was 5. So that was great. I don't think we're going to get to 150 total holiday specials this year, guys. This is the same problem that the car lots are having. Sales are great. People want to buy the product. We just don't have the product. And, people are coming in and saying, hey, I want a holiday special. And, we've lost a few sales because we didn't have one to send out the door that day. We've had many people who are patient as well and said, I can wait a day, I can wait 2 days. Right now we have 5 holiday special desktops completely built and ready to go out the door, waiting on one part. It's that classic supply chain choke point. We're waiting on one part. It's a plastic bracket that holds the card reader. And that's what we're waiting on. A $5 part is holding up a $1,600 computer. We got a few of those in yesterday. And we have more that are supposedly arriving any day now. But we'll be able to get those holiday special desktops out the door and into your hands as well. 888-250-2091. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, 500,000 Android users have infected themselves by installing one specific application from the Google Play Store. Did you install it on your phone? And if so, what do you need to do? We're going to tell you what's going on coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We want to wish everyone in your household and your families a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope everybody is safe and well this holiday season. And from everyone in the Schrock household to everyone in yours, nothing but positive, great thoughts. 888-250-2091. Let's jump into those phones. JB, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Thor. I just bought a laptop from Trenton and Brian up there in Omaha just the other day, and I've got I emulate a desktop with it sometimes. I wondered, in the old days, you didn't dare plug in some of the ports when it was going. I wondered if it hurt anything to plug in the HDMI and the USB ports now while the machine is on.
Great question. Yeah, back in the day, the PS2 ports, the round ports, the keyboard and mouse, you didn't want to plug and unplug those when the computer was running because you could short the port out or you could damage the keyboard or, it caused all kinds of bad things. But the USB ports are plug and play. You can plug and unplug those anytime you want. No problems there. Same thing with the HDMI port. Sometimes when you plug in a monitor to the HDMI port, once the computer is up and running, you might have to use the keyboard command to activate the monitor, which is like function F5, I believe, or F6, something like that. It'll vary from model to model, but otherwise, a restart usually causes the monitor to pop right up and come to life. But anymore, especially with Windows 11, the computers are very attuned to projectors and secondary monitors and things like that. They pop up pretty easily.
Okay, that's great. I didn't have them put secure. This machine, I was just in town for a short time, and I told them that, and they said, well, we've got one here, we can fix you up. I went and watched them unload a couple of Bentleys while they fixed me up across the street.
Yeah.
And the Secure Updater, I've got Office 365, and one subscription will go on more than one computer. I go up to 5.
Okay.
If I get Secure Updater, can I put it on more than one of my own computers?
Right. Secure Updater is a single device license, so you need a license for each device you want to protect. The main reason for that is because of the amount of time and labor that goes into, we're not Microsoft. We don't have a team. We're also not charging, $300, a year for the product. But basically, it's a per device thing because it's securing each individual device with up to 30 different programs that are commonly installed on different devices. So yeah, unfortunately, that one you don't get a 5 license or a 5 computer license or anything. It's $50 the first year and $29.99 each additional year to renew.
Okay, I see you've got that on your website or it's on the internet. Can I download it from here and do that or not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, Secure Updater should already be installed on your computer with a 15-day trial license. That's something that comes free with every computer that we work on. It's one per email address, basically. So unless you've had one before, you should have that trial license. But otherwise, if you go to secureupdater.com, you can set it all up there. Everything is already in there for you. All you have to do is go to secureupdater.com. You can log into your Secure Updater account that we created for you using your email address and your password. Of course, you won't know your password, so you'll do a reset for the password, and then you'll be able to get in there, and you can add that subscription right on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, no
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you, JB.
I like my desktop or my laptop.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it. Did you happen to pick up a Bentley while you were out there?
$237,000. I thought, nah, not this year.
You already blew your wad over at Schrock. I get it.
That's right. Thank you.
It's a tough life. All right. Thanks, JB. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. 888-250-2091. So 500,000 people infected themselves by downloading an app on Android. This app was downloaded directly from the Google Play Store the safe place you're supposed to download apps from. This app was intended to be an app that allowed you to adapt your text messages, to do funny things with text messages and send them to other people. It was called Color Message. So if you downloaded the app Color Message from the Google Play Store to attempt to make your text messages cute, well, you probably noticed your phone started doing some really weird things. Now, the reason I'm bringing you this story, 500,000 people downloaded this. The odds that any one of those 500,000 people in the entire big ball of mud we live on are listening to this program right now are pretty slim. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because the behavior that's been done by this app is the telltale behavior for any future infection you might see. Because the logical question here is, well, Thor, how do I know what apps are safe to download and which ones aren't? And the answer is you can't always know. Not even Google Play knows, obviously. So how are you supposed to know? So we want to watch for weird things. So some of the weird things that this app started to make phones do. Well, first of all, it didn't allow you to do jack with your text messages. So that was they got a lot of 1-star reviews for that. I wanted to edit my text messages, but you see, the thing is, people download apps on their phone and they try them out and they're like, oh, it doesn't work right. They don't uninstall them. They just leave them. So I always tell people, sometime when you're bored, right? When you've read everything and you've hit the end of the internet and there's nothing left on your phone to do, go into your apps and look for apps that you haven't opened in a while and uninstall them. You can always get them back later. And if they go away from the Google Play Store, if Google gets rid of them, like what they did to Parler, they'll just uninstall it from your phone too automatically. So it's not like you're salvaging anything by keeping it on your phone. So go through and delete apps that you don't use. Otherwise, you might see things like, as you're using your phone, weird internet windows pop open. Like pop-ups, kind of. It's almost like somebody's clicking on ads, which they are. They're opening windows and clicking on ads to make money. Now, they might make a fraction of a penny per click, but if you can get a 500,000 people clicking all day long, you can get a lot of clicks and a lot of fractions of a penny, and that adds up to dollars. So that's a win for them there. You'll notice other apps getting automatically downloaded to your device. That's not a good thing. When you see apps appearing that you did not download, either your carrier is installing them as part of an update, or you're infected with something. This was the Joker infection is what was getting everybody with this app. And, of course, it's been removed from the Play Store, been removed from everybody's phone, so that's all good to go. So if you start to see those kind of behaviors on your phone, that's definitely a sign that your phone is infected with something and needs to be protected. Consequently, it would be remiss if I didn't mention you really need antivirus on your mobile devices, guys. The next story that I'm going to bring you is going to chill your iPhone bones. You need antivirus on your mobile devices. There is nothing safe anymore. The webcams that my wife and I hung up in our house the other day got compromised this week. We just bought them and hung them up. They're webcams that I picked out. And then guess what? They went down when AWS went down too, because they don't have their own infrastructure. They're reliant on Amazon. It's one of those things where you have to stop and think about these things now, right? So you really need to have protection on your phone. You need to have protection on your iPad and on your tablet. We can install Sophos antivirus on your mobile devices for you. It is much less expensive than installing it on a computer because the threats that attack mobile devices are pretty single vector, usually through apps. So it's something that's a little easier to monitor, but it saves you a ton of heartache if we can catch a problem or catch a vulnerability or advise you that your software is out of date and you need to update it before it gets forced down your throat so that you can make sure you're current, because they make the patches to protect you from vulnerabilities. And Sophos reminds you to get the patches that you need. So it's something that we can do in the service center for you. It takes about 5 minutes to do. If you're in the neighborhood, stop in. Let us protect your device for you. You're not going to regret it. 888-250-2091. When we come back from a break, as I mentioned, this is an iPhone story that's going to scare the pants off you. It's going to scare the case off your phone. Let's put it that way. No clicks. You don't have to do anything, and you're infected. And everything is compromised on your phone, and I mean everything. We're going to tell you what happened and what you can do to protect yourself coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
News, I'm Karen McHugh. Some New York leaders say no to the governor's new mask mandate.
The 2 top Democratic officials in Long Island are joining dozens of Republicans across the state, saying they will not enforce Governor Kathy Hochul's order that masks be worn in indoor places unless businesses require workers be vaccinated. The defiance to the governor's orders comes as the number of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are on the rise in New York.
Fox's Sue Guzman. President Biden will address the Omicron variant in his speech on Tuesday. What ended up being a false alarm about a shooter at an Austin, Texas shopping mall Saturday was in reality a smash and grab robbery in progress at a jewelry store.
Most likely that shot fired report came as a result of the individuals hitting hardened glass at the Hellsberg store trying to break it. They did ultimately break the glass and were able to get away with some items.
Austin police officer Michael Bullock. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
After a chilly start, mostly sunny skies will warm our high up near 40 degrees this afternoon. It will be windy with gusts 30 to 35 miles per hour possible. We'll drop down to the low to mid 20s tonight, partly cloudy and breezy on Monday with a high around 36. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Halftime is over. Hope everybody got their potty breaks in, got your coffee refilled, got Maggie some donuts, because we are ready to go on Compute This. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. JB was the only caller in the first half of the show, so he's got a pretty good lock right now on that gift certificate. So if you want to take it from him, you can give us a call. You have a 50-50 shot then. We'll see how it happens. All right. So as I mentioned, guys, as we started the program out, just a quick recap. Holiday specials. We're reaching the bottom of the barrel. I don't think we're going to get to 150 units this year. Not because of lack of demand, but because lack of supply on processors primarily. And, we're doing our best to keep up with the demand for the holiday specials is overflowing into other computers. If I can't get a holiday special, at least I can get a Venture. If I can't get a holiday special laptop, at least I can get a Gallant. And so we're seeing a heavy flow into the lower models of computers as well. So we're trying our best to keep up with those. We were not prepared for that. We didn't expect that to happen. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I'm so tired of unexpected things. I wish something would just go according to plan, right? When did I become the old man who's like, don't change anything? Well, when did that happen to me? I don't know. I used to thrive on change. It's a good business to be in when you thrive on change, but I don't know. The change is coming fast and heavy right now, so it'd just be nice to have no change at all. I went to Nebraska Crossing, the outlet mall here in Nebraska, the other day with my wife, and we were coming out of the Kate Spade store because, every guy needs a purse. And so we were coming out of the Kate Spade store, and the security guard, it was a private security guard for the mall there, held the door for us. Something struck me about him. At first I thought he was a police officer, and he could have been an off-duty police officer. He definitely had the vest. And I'm literally counting magazines, and I just knew what the magazines were, okay? Let's put it that way. I knew how many bullets they held. I knew how many rounds they held. I knew how big they were. I knew what gun they were for. And the man had 60 rounds of ammunition on his vest. So I'm telling you, you don't want to smash and grab the Hellsberg at the Nebraska Crossing Mall because you better bring a big rock because that dude's got 60 rounds of ammo. And I don't know what he's going to do with it, but I don't know what he's prepared for. But if 60 rounds isn't enough, you shouldn't be there. That's a rack, you shouldn't be there. But anyway, the long story short here, guys, is that the holiday special stuff is wrapping up here. We're going to be pulling the display models down. So if it's something that you're looking to do, definitely get in. You can jump on the website and order online. We get your order right away. That way we start building it immediately. Or you can come on into the service center where the inventory is a little thin. You can place your order. Usually takes us a day or two to get it to you. But we can still get some done before Christmas. I can't promise you that we can have yours done by Christmas, but we sure can try and sure can help it out. If it's a Christmas gift, please do let us know. Some people will say, hey, it's not a Christmas gift. If there's somebody who needs it by Christmas, prioritize them. Our customers are amazing people. So if you need it by Christmas, let us know, and we'll make sure that we can get it to you by Christmas if at all possible. 888-250-2091. Now, there is a story that I want to bring you, and this is you may sound familiar. There was a story in September about Apple iPhones being automatically infected through iMessage. Do you remember this one? This was a zero-click iPhone attack, and that's why it was so scary, is you didn't have to actually open the text message that you get on your phone through iMessage. You didn't have to click a link. All you had to do was get a message on your phone, and your phone was infected. So at the time, Apple, of course, released a patch for it. I don't know if any of the rest of you find this disturbing at all, but why do we only hear about the details like months after what happened? It's almost, and I get it where, when the attack isn't, when you're in the thick of it, you don't want to tell people how to exploit the attack. But the extent of what was done to these iPhones is mind-boggling, jaw-dropping, phone case slapping. This is a whole nother level of malware. And it literally brings me to the point of saying there is no technology that is secure. There is no technology that is completely secure. You can take all the steps in the world to make yourself as secure as possible, which is what we, of course, strongly recommend, because unless you're going to go make furniture, in a store somewhere, you really can't get away from technology in your life, right? It's part of our lives now. So when you find out that your iPhone, which is basically a computer, right? An attacker sent a text message to your iPhone that caused your iPhone to have a little baby computer in its memory, a schizophrenic personality, if you will, where there was a second virtual machine running inside the iPhone's memory that allowed. There wasn't any known language that could work in this virtual memory. So the bad guys literally made up their own computer architecture. This is like what Intel does. They made up their own architecture that could run in the iPhone memory and execute automated, albeit primitive, Java-like commands to do things with your phone. Activating cameras, activating microphones, accessing memory, bypassing encryption. All the things that you wouldn't really ever want your iPhone doing, these guys could do when they infected your phone through a text message. That's why this was so scary. That's why Apple patched it so quickly. This is why it's important that when there is a patch out for your device, especially right after the 2000 election, a lot of patches were coming out. A lot of updates were coming out that were, tracking updates or knocking apps off phones and things like that. A lot of people turned off their automatic updating. You guys called this program and told me you did that. Now I'm telling you that the risk of having some kind of malware or nasty infection or a zero-click vulnerability like this getting through to your device is so great that you must update it. You must update your routers at home, guys. You must update them. You must update your phones. If you have an old phone that is no longer supported, you need to buy a new phone that is supported. If you're running Windows 7, for heaven's sake, if you're running Windows XP, but if you're running Windows 7, you need a new computer. If you're running Windows Vista, you need a new computer. In 2025, you're going to need a new computer if you're running Windows 10. And yes, it blows, and yes, it's not fun, and yes, QuickBooks isn't going to have a desktop version anymore, and they're going to force me into the cloud, and I don't want to pay for the cloud every month. I totally get it. I'm right there with you guys. Don't become the old curmudgeon that resists change for the sake of resisting change. Trust me, my body wants to go there, but I have to force myself to say, okay, maybe not necessarily. But there are some times when resisting change can be a good thing, or at least making sure that you're not reliant on change can be a good thing. We're going to cover some of that in the next segment. 888-250-2091. Paul, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Paul.
I recently got a new Android phone, and I wanted to know how to responsibly recycle my old phone. I was wondering if you guys take the old phones.
We absolutely do. Anything that's computer related, we decided a long time ago that tablets and cell phones, they skirt the boundaries so close that we call them computer related. Basically, if it has a battery, we'll take it over at Schrock. So you can drop it off. There's no charge. We do securely erase the device before it goes to Sadoff Recycling in La Vista to be properly ground up and recycled. So the device gets actually recycled at a certified recycling facility, and we make sure that your data doesn't leave the service center. Of course, I would encourage you to wipe the phone as well before you hand it in, but we'll do a factory reset on it as well to make sure that everything is wiped off that phone before it goes out the door.
Okay, then I was going to ask you, too, should I remove the cards in it, or do you guys take care of all that, too?
We can pull the card for you, but, there's nothing wrong with that card. Your new phone probably doesn't use the card, but when you do a transfer from one phone to another phone, like if you have a Samsung device, and I do the Samsung transfer, it does not move the stuff that's on that SD card. So if you set that to be where your pictures go and things like that, you could have data on that SD card that did not get automatically transferred to the new device. If that's the case, I'd recommend you hang on to that card because you can get a little adapter and stick it into the front of a computer, and you can transfer it onto the phone that way.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll try to drop it off at your Lincoln store one of these days.
All right, sounds good, Paul. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Have a great afternoon, and Merry Christmas to you as well. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. Just like Paul did, ask a question, make a comment. We'll put you in the drawing there for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Now, I mentioned at the start of the program as well that we do a little show after this one called the After Schrock. This will be the final After Schrock of the year for various reasons that I'll go into during the After Schrock, because that's where we cover things that we don't have time to do here on the show or that aren't necessarily pertinent to the show itself. So basically, that's going to be on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. That's SCHROCK Innovations. Consequently, where we are live streaming right now as well. During commercial breaks, I try to pop in here and answer any questions that people have, things along those lines. For example, I was answering a question. Somebody asked me what the turnaround time was in the Omaha Service Center for a computer repair right now. I intended to write 24 to 48 hours. But in the background, the commercial about viruses was playing, and I wrote 24 to 48 viruses and hit enter. I had to go back and edit that comment. Otherwise, it looks kind of bad. But we're not going to put viruses on your computers. Even in the Omaha Service Center, we don't do that. But you can check that out, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We're definitely going to touch on some crypto news that's going on. There is some wackadoo stuff that's going to happen literally on New Year's Eve. So it's something, if you're into crypto, you'll want to be aware so you can kind of look into this and make your own decisions about what you want to do. Also, we're going to talk supply chain. We're going to talk about all the crazy things that have happened in the service center this week. Let me tell you a story real quickly. Adobe Illustrator is the most frustrating program I have ever worked with in my entire existence as a computer technician. So they give you a set of recommended system requirements for a computer. You build a computer, say a 2020 holiday special, that is 100 to 400% above the recommended system requirements for the program. Yet when you try to run the program on the computer, it runs like dog water. Ask the kids. I'll tell you what dog water is. It's the water that drips off the dog's mouth after it's done drinking. It's dog water. It runs like dog water, generally undesirable water, okay? Why? We don't know. They don't know. They don't care. We have to care. So we literally have a corporate client right now that bought $70,000 worth of computers from us last year, and we are trying to figure out why in the world Adobe Illustrator doesn't want to perform when every other program on the face of the earth performs just fine. So it's incredibly frustrating. That's an example of some of the stuff that we'll talk about during the Aftershock today, guys. So make sure you check that out right after the program here at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Number to join us on the program today is 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the program here, guys. When we come back, Lucy, Dale, Bob, your calls, as well as how much do you actually rely on Amazon Web Services, AWS? You might be surprised how many common everyday things that you use are actually completely dependent on AWS. We're going to give you the short list of some of the 15 biggest companies that are reliant on AWS coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, final segment of the program. Thanks for staying with us through the hour here. We appreciate it. I hope you guys are all having a very merry holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I hope everybody has got their shopping done and got all their presents under the trees and ready to go. Let's jump into those phones here real quick. Lucy, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, You'll have to pardon me, Thor. I've got laryngitis.
Oh, no.
But I got it. Yeah, perfect time of the year. But it's a question concerning a Sony Xperia smartphone. And I maintained backup. I did this. I updated apps, everything else. And one of the apps had totally taken my phone out as far as it's got the corruption thing came up.
Okay.
And I took it into smartphone repair to see if they could power it up and retrieve the information, the apps, photos. I have some backup. It wasn't, whatever app it was, had prevented a lot of the backup. And I had run security on it, Norton, and everything.
Right.
My question is, now I was told that they might be able to retrieve it if it goes to a BLR, which is a, what do they call that? Where they can retrieve, it goes to a base level retrieve.
Right.
Have you ever heard of that? I'm sure you have.
That term, maybe not that term individually, but I do know what they're talking about. So basically,
a board level repair.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yes. So yeah. We would call it chip off. You have to take the chip off the board and recover the data directly from the memory chip, which will work on older smartphones. Modern smartphones, in other words, anything designed in the last 3 years, usually has encrypted memory chips, and those are non-recoverable. So all of your Apple devices, non-recoverable. The modern Samsung devices, anything S7 or newer, is not recoverable. But if it was a few-year-old Sony phone, it's entirely possible that a chip-off recovery could be successful.
Now, where would I go with that? Could I bring that to your business, and maybe you could find the company that could do it for me?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, our advanced data recovery lab, we would evaluate the phone first to determine if you need to have that chip-off recovery. The downside is a chip-off recovery is pretty expensive stuff. You're looking at $1,500 minimum.
To get everything off of there.
Yeah, it's going to be pricey. So that's the first question we're going to ask is, is it worth it? Like, should you do this?
Well, I know that I thought I had all my contacts backed up. It would say I would look on there and back up. I'm doing everything right, and it's doing me wrong. I think it was an app from the Google store, and I never had the color one that you're talking about. Did not have that.
Yeah,
but it's an older Sony. It's like 5 years old.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's entirely possible that we could get a recovery off of that one given its age. But yeah, definitely drop that off at any service center. We do all of our data recovery in the Omaha service center, but we do transfers between them. So you can drop it off at whichever service center is most convenient for you. Thank you for the call, Lucy. I appreciate it. We also have you in the drawing there. Dale, you're next up. Dale. Dale.
Hey.
You're next up. How can I help
you? Yes. So I work as an independent contractor for our company, and I'm wondering if there's a software or some way that I can capture my phone numbers and text that I use when I turn in monthly. I do a highlight of them, but I'd like to just have a record of them and just turn in the log of them for what I do. Is there a way to capture that either to my PC or somewhere to a spreadsheet or something?
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick search here. I know our data recovery software in the data recovery lab will recover text messages, call history, things like that. I don't know that you'd want to pay for that software, though, so I was just doing a quick search here
I'm just
to see
I'm
if
just
there's
trying
maybe
to
an
think
app
of something that would routinely.
Yeah, so
on
let's
the
see.
thing.
I'm looking here.
I just thought maybe you might have run onto something off the top of your head that works to do that kind of capturing of the information.
Yeah, I'm looking for an app that would do that. And of course, there's tons of places that have pieces of it. Like you can get your messages, you can get this, you can get that. You can get call logs. Here's how to do it on Sprint. Here's how to do it on T-Mobile. Gosh, I don't see a single app that would do that. So let me take a look.
Maybe I'll have to ask the phone people about it, see if they got a way to do it that I don't know about.
The Wondershare software is good for Android devices. It's relatively inexpensive. So what you can do with Wondershare is they allow you to run it on the phone, and you can kind of see what it can get. It won't allow you to actually export anything until you buy it. but the Wondershare software license is only $30 or $50, something like that for a home user. And it would allow you to basically scan the phone and extract the text message history. So you could have it in a notepad file, all the text messages, all of the phone calls in and out, duration of call, things like that. They would all be in there, and that's called Wondershare data recovery.
Okay.
That's what we would do with the service center. All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Dale. I appreciate it. Bob, you're next up on the program. How can I help you on Compute This, Bob?
Hi, good morning, Thor.
Good morning.
Hey, I've got 2 quick questions for you. Back in September-ish, I bought 2 licenses for the Windows Home and upgrades for 21H2, and I haven't heard an email from you guys saying, hey, it's time to do it. And the second one is I placed an online order for a holiday special almost 3 weeks ago, and I think when I stepped out of the shower this morning, I heard you saying there's only a 2-day turnaround. I'm saying, okay, there's a delay somewhere. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to check on that one for you. 3 weeks is way too long because I've seen them come and go in a 3 week. Was it a laptop or a desktop?
It's a desktop.
Okay. All right, let me grab this here. I am writing down your information here while I still have it up on my screen. All right, there we go. So I will check on the desktop and get back to you on that. Did you place the order online or did you place it in the service center?
It was through online.
Okay, gotcha. And you received like
my status shows on the screen that it's awaiting payment, but I was billed. My American Express card got billed 3 weeks ago.
All right, that would explain why it didn't pop up in our queue to build it if it thinks the payment hasn't been made. But obviously, you're telling me the payment has been made, so I will get on that right now. I'll send a message over to Alfonso, and he'll take a look at that, and he'll basically double check the payment. Everything's good. He'll get it in the processing queue, and we'll get that moving forward for you, Bob.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right, thanks for the call, Bob. I appreciate it. Next up is Steve. Steve, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I have Office 365 I'm running, and I don't know where the spam folder is. It sounds stupid, but there's a junk folder, archive folder, inbox, outbox. But recently I missed an important email, and I couldn't find it. Even when I searched that exact date and time when the email came in, I only found it when I was able to search by a certain keyword, and then it had the word spam in brackets in front of it, but there's no spam folder. So where is spam hidden in Office 365? Why is it calling it spam and it won't let me see it unless I search by keyword and it suddenly pops out of nowhere?
Gotcha. So there isn't a spam folder in Office 365. The spam designation came from the internet service provider that labeled the message as spam before it came to you. So it wasn't that you thought it was spam or that it ended up in a folder. It was that the ISP labeled it that way. Today's winner is Dale. Congratulations, Dale. You've got yourself the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Amazon Web Services story. You know, if you use any of these companies, we'll go into them on the break, into the after Schrock in a little more detail. Netflix, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, BBC, ESPN, Adobe, or Twitter. You're using AWS, and we'll see you next weekend, guys.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home for made in the USA furniture. This is News Radio.